Hello and welcome to the channel. This is day 13 of CCNA, and in this video I'm just going to talk about two of the very important protocols in layer 2. One of them is going to be CDP, the other one is LLDP. We're going to talk about how these are used for let's say a discovery of the neighbors, which is very important. So just talk about this. So the first thing that we should know is why discovery of the neighbors are very important for us. So one of the reasons is most likely you're going to have something like a documentation that you can just take a look at that, and based on that you can understand which routers and switches are where and how they are connected to each other. That's going to be the basic tool for your troubleshooting in your network. But if you don't have that, or if you have that but you want to just do some things on the fly, then these protocols are going to be very important. So think of this. A bunch of routers and switches are connected to each other. You are introduced to this network. You want to figure out which router or switch is connected to the device that you are connected to right now. So what you need to do is to check the discovery protocols in here. That's going to be super important. Like I said, troubleshooting is one of the most important ones, and also documentation. When you do something, you heavily rely on the documentation. If you do not do that, nobody else will understand what you have done. And part of the documentation, of course, is the result of these protocols. So let's just take a look at them. The first one is going to be Cisco Discovery Protocol. This is or has been with us for a long time. And this is a layer 2 discovery protocol. Very important to understand. Layer 2 discovery protocol. You can run it on routers, switches, IP phones, and access points. Any Cisco device can run this protocol. Although some of the devices are not by default running CDP, but you can just enable them on them. Some others are enabled by default, and you can just run CDP on them. So you can just take a look at them. And the other thing is the information that it shares is very important. You can see the platform, what type of a platform is connected to you. You can see the capabilities of that platform, for example, bridging, routing, let's say, for example, NAT, stuff like that. You can check the interface which is connected to you from the other device, because whenever you are connected to the other device, you say, okay, I am connected to you using this specific port ID. You can see sometimes the IP address and the version and stuff like that on that. So let's just take a look at the topology that we have right now. I'm just going to check this on switch 1. So if I just go to switch 1, for example, and hit enter, what I'm going to do is to go to privilege mode. I'm just going to start with show CDP. The first thing that I'm going to do is to check the protocol itself. I hit enter. It says that global CDP information is like this. We send CDP packets every 60 seconds. This is the timers. You can change them, but you don't really need to, because the defaults are okay, and you do not really need to, make the network busy with this information. You have a hold time value of 180 seconds, which is 3 times the sending the hello messages. So this means that if I miss 3 CDP packets from your side, then I will announce you. I will pronounce you dead. I will just say that I have lost you, and I'm just going to consider that you are not available anymore. And also we have different versions of that. You can see that CDP version 2 is right now enabled on here. Okay, so it says that CDP is here. So if I just go with the most important command here, which is going to be show CDP neighbor, and hit enter after that, you can see that CDP by default is enabled on most of the catalyst switches. I'm going to show you how you can enable or disable this in a second, and then we are going to go back to this result. So you can just go to configuration mode. In configuration mode, you can say CDP run. This is going to enable CDP for you, and this one is not CDP run. This is CDP run. Hit enter, and CDP run, this means that this is going to enable CDP for you. If you say no CDP run, this means that CDP is going to be disabled for you. So after that, if you say show CDP neighbor, you're not going to have anything, because it says that CDP is globally disabled. So I'm just going to go back to CDP run command. I'm just going to run this, and CDP is going to start working. As soon as you start a CDP, you should not really expect to receive the results. Like I said, the hello messages are going to be sent every 60 seconds. So you are going to receive messages anytime from your neighbor. You don't really know when your neighbor is going to send a message in the next 60 seconds, but you know that CDP is enabled. On some of the interfaces, you don't want to enable CDP. Let's say that on switch 1, of course, for example, this Ethernet 03 does not really need to broadcast the CDP information of the device to outer network. So you are going to just disable this. Or, for example, some of the ports that are connected to the PCs, those ports you do not really need to advertise any information from the device, because on the other side you don't know who sits and who wants to do what. So what you're going to do is to go to those interfaces and then disable CDPs out there. So here I'm just going to say interface E0/3. I'm going to say CDP, and after that you can see that I have enable as a command. So this is going to enable the CDP on the interface level, even if you have disabled this on global level. But right now I'm just going to say no CDP enable. This means that I'm just going to disable CDP on this specific interface. So devices on the other side, they are not going to receive any information from this specific interface. So if I now say do show CDP, hit enter, this is going to tell me the overall information about CDP. I'm just going to say and I'm just going to save the configuration. We're just going to say show CDP, and after that the question mark, you can see that there is something that says show CDP interface. So you can hit enter and it's going to tell me which interfaces are here, which interfaces are down based on CDP, and you can see that Ethernet 03 is not part of the list. This means that Ethernet 03 is not enabled by CDP. But the rest of them, of course, are enabled with that. Okay, so CDP has some information from the neighbors, and I'm just going to show you this. So if I say show one more time, show CDP neighbor, you can hit enter, and then this is going to tell you that on the other side there is a device, and you can see the name of the device in here. This means that the device advertises its name here, device ID. Then we have local interface, which means that my interface connected to you. For example, it says that from my side, Ethernet 02 is connected to switch 4. And from the other side, the port ID is in the end. You can see that Ethernet 02 from switch 4 is connected to me. And you can see that the platform is, in this case, of course, it says Linux, Unix, something like that. That is because I am connected to Cisco IOL right now. And for a real production environment, of course, you're going to see a real platform right here. Capabilities are very important. You can see there is a legend up here that it tells you what type of capabilities are available on the other side, and you can just take a look at this legend. This is very important for you. You can see that router is very important, switch is very important, and the other thing which is important for you is whether IGMP is supported on them. You can see that this is noted in here. Whether there is a phone on the other side, and these are very, very important for you. So from the information point of view, these are the information that you're receiving from the other side. And of course you might say, okay, this is security hazard. You don't really want to advertise your information to the other side, so you can disable CDP there. Let's go back to the slides here. So we checked it. And the most important information that we need to know is this. This works in layer 2, layer data link layer. And we send periodic multicast advertisements. So the hello messages are multicast to the other side. And we only see directly connected devices. We cannot have any information about remote devices using CDP. And of course, I showed you what CDP timers are. CDP timer is going to send some packets to the other side. I call it hello messages, but of course, we just call it CDP messages. And the whole time is 180, which means that if I do not really receive any message from you, then I'm going to, say that I'm going to assume that you are not there. Okay, let's go for the next one. So we can modify this. Sometimes you can just decrease the timers, and there are some best practices. You can just take a look at the best practices based on the environment that you're working in. In service providers, for example, CDPs, or on extra routers, for example, they are disabled. You do not really need to enable them. And like I said, you can just globally change CDP uh, configuration and tell the router that you should enable it or disable it using CDP run that I just showed you. Also, the other thing is discover. So command show CDP neighbor, like I said, and I showed you. The result is based on the result. You can just tell device ID, local interface, and the port ID, which means that the neighbor's interface. And there are some commands that are important for you. For example, you can say show CDP neighbor detail, and I'm just going to show you this result in here. If I say show CDP neighbors, this is going to give you this information. But if you say detail, then this is going to give you a lot of other information, such as IP address on the other side, for example. What is the native VLAN of the device? What is the version of CDP which is used for advertisement? And some more information. So you can see that CDP neighbor detail gives you a lot more information from the other stuff. And like I said, this is where might be kind of a security hazard. And the other thing is, we can just take a look at the lab, and you can just do whatever I did to practice this and check it. The most important commands I have showed you. And now it turns it is LLDP's turn to be introduced to you. So LLDP is link layer discovery protocol. This is a standard protocol, but again, you should know that based on the name, it says link layer discovery protocol. You can easily understand that this is layer 2 protocol as well. The most important part is most Cisco devices, of course, support this. LLDP is a standard protocol, open standard, which means that every other device can implement this. And when you have multi-vendor environment, when you have devices from different companies, then LLDP is going to be the choice for you because this is supported by all of those devices. It is similar to CDP, but a universal version of that. You can think of this as a common language for all switches and also routers. So you can just check them. So you can see a comparison between CDP and LLDP here. The most important part is the platform, which is Cisco devices just for CDP, but any vendor just for LLDP. So you can run them, and also very much similar to CDP, you can just say LLDP run, and this is going to start running on your device. And of course, no LLDP run is going to disable that. By default, on Cisco devices, this might be disabled. Let me just open the here. So I'm going to say show LLDP. And then you can see that LLDP is not enabled by default. I need to enable this on all of the devices. So I'm just going to send them messages to all the devices. So what I'm going to do is say LLDP run, very much similar to what we had. Of course, I need to go to configuration mode. All of the devices, let me see, this is not in configuration mode. And also this is not in configuration mode. So I'm just going to say en, then I'm going to say configure terminal. Then I'm going to say LLDP run. So LLDP is going to be enabled on all of these devices. And if I just say show LLDP neighbors and hit enter, and of course do show because I am in global configuration. So you can see now LLDP gives you some information very much similar to what we had on let's say other devices. Very much similar to the result that you have received from CDP. So LLDP is very much similar to that. So if I just go to here and say show LLDP neighbor and go for this, you can see that detail again is another option that you can go for that. And the same information that you see from CDP can be viewed in here. On some platforms, you can have more information from CDP, from LLDP than you receive from CDP. But something very important for you is LLDP can be configured interface level as well. So if I just go to configuration mode and say, for example, interface E00, and then you're going to say LLDP, and after that, you can see that not only you can enable LLDP, you can just say enabling either LLDP for receiving only or for transmitting only. So you can just go with each one of them. So I'm just going to say LLDP transmit and then hit enter, or I can say no LLDP transmit, and also I can say LLDP receive or no LLDP receive in here. So same thing as what we had on CDP, but with a little torque, which is going to with a little quirk. And this is what we have as LLDP transmit and LLDP receive. So CDP, some information that, like I said, CDP cannot understand, LLDP does, and LLDP advertises them. And this is great for hybrid networks. So what do we have from this session? We have CDP as Cisco proprietary, which means that Cisco specific, great for Cisco only networks. And also, you know that in most of the situations, we have a combination of devices from different vendors. So CDP is not going to be ideal for all of them. LLDP would be, because this is open standard and this is multi-vendor support. And also, we need these protocols for discovery of the devices around us so that we can do troubleshooting much easier. And of course, the documentation is going to be much easier for us. The other thing is some of the commands that you need to know. The most important one is show CDP neighbor or show LLDP neighbor. And of course, you can have detail for more information about that. Okay, in the end, what you need to do is just practice, and also, of course, increase your knowledge. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and also share this video with your friends so that they can get the knowledge as well. And also, hit that bell button so that you are going to be notified anytime that we upload a new video for you. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and see you in later videos.